famous. If people would just listen to me and give me a chance.
I know.
I feel like I'm going to cry, and we're only like a minute into this episode.
That's how you know
This
we're cooking.
fucking drink you made.
That's how you know we're cooking. Chat, we are currently drinking Tito's vodka cut with room temperature tap water and a dollop of pure agave syrup.
Book of Eli mode right now.
Yes, and a dollop of pure agave syrup and some lime juice, but importantly, it's not from like fresh squeezed limes. It's from one of those like bottles of lime juice that you buy.
Oh, I see it right now. It's the little green bottle.
Right.
Not even the little lime that you squeeze.
No. It's like a bottle. It's like industrial lime juice.
Yeah.
And yeah, I call this drink the Eli.
Fresh pressed by American citizens who have been sent to El Salvadoran prisons.
Yeah.
And they're not coming back because we need our lime juice, people.
Billy, have you ever been inside an El Salvadorian prison? That's just Salvadorian, I guess.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, people. Let's get into it. Welcome back to Boys Bible Study. Ash here with my co-host,
Julian.
And sadly, our co-host, Scott, could not make it today.
Where in the world is Scott?
Where?
He's in Panama, isn't he?
Is Scott Whiteman? Is he?
He's somewhere.
He's somewhere. I know. He's always traveling.
Or maybe it's the Dominican Republic. Yeah, he is out of the country. I hope we get him back.
When asked where our podcasting partner is, my response, am I my brother's keeper? And the answer is no. We don't remember where Scott is at the moment, but we wish him the best. And I'm sure he will be back next week. But we are here to watch a Hollywood blockbuster.
Yeah.
With strong biblical themes, undeniably biblical themes. And
overt
biblical themes, absolutely. This film is called The Book of Eli. It is a box office success.
This movie was huge.
It was. I feel like it's an IMDb core movie.
Yeah, this was like, I feel like this was big with people, you know, if you like Boondock Saints,
right?
That type of era of film. It was very of the time. 2010, actually a lot later than I was expecting.
Later than you thought. It's like the tail end of this type of like no nonsense masculine like 2000s movie hero.
Yes.
Because it's like it was being developed during the 2000s. And I feel like 2010, it sort of represents the end of an era.
And it felt very similar and looked a lot similar to Mad Max Fury Road.
Right.
Which is an incredible movie. And this movie just didn't have it at all. And it was just like kind of interesting to see how like that close together, like two different people interpret the like post-apocalyptic thing. And one was just so much more creative than the other one.
Right. It just goes to show you putting the Bible in your movie doesn't exactly set yourself up for success, unfortunately. I wish, as a Christian movie fanatic, I wish I could sit here and say, all you need to do to introduce Christianity to the masses is to make a blockbuster with biblical themes. Well, I mean, technically this works. The reason I can say it didn't work is because I personally did not care for this movie at all. I thought it was extremely stupid.
Yeah. I don't even think it's like seen as a Christian movie.
No.
Oddly, which is like, it was more overtly Christian than a lot of the movies we watch that are Christian movies.
Yeah, it was more overtly Christian than like The Unexpected Bar Mitzvah in the sense that like it had pro-Christian themes and it didn't spend half the movie saying that certain Christians were wrong about things.
Yeah.
So I would argue that it had a very unifying, overt Christian message that would appeal to many different types of Christians.
Yeah.
But it was... Man, this movie's fucking stupid. Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it.
It's crazy that I knew all the spoilers for this movie from like years ago. Maybe even when it came out, I was told these spoilers because I was just like, I'm probably not going to see that movie. And I still remembered them to this day. And that was like the only reason why this movie would be worth watching, is for the like twist. One of which I found out wasn't even a twist, that he's carrying a Bible.
Sure.
I thought that was revealed at like the end of the movie.
Right.
But it's just the whole movie.
Yeah, it's revealed in like the beginning of the second act.
Yeah.
It's not exactly like an end of the movie spoiler.
Yeah, so I was just like, oh, really only two things happen in this movie that are like crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it's the perfect like 2000s, 2010s blockbuster because it relies on twists which are very shallow, and once you know them, it makes basically the experience of watching the movie nothing.
Yeah.
Because there's like nothing to look forward to other than just being like, that was it, like pointing your finger at the screen when the twist happens.
Yeah.
And it just like, it's in that league of Hollywood blockbuster that's like, reveal something mundane that you just didn't expect in the world, like build an unexpected world, and then reveal something very mundane about it. And that's like, just like tried and true blockbuster formula from this era. I will say no movie does that genuinely better than Battlefield Earth, which I think we should review for this podcast eventually.
Yeah.
I think we've talked about doing that for years and just forgot. But I'm just going to spoil it. Spoilers for Battlefield Earth, if anyone out there cares. In Battlefield Earth, like 2/3 of the way through the movie, you're watching this insane fucking sci-fi movie.
Yeah.
It has like, Forrest Whitaker and John Travolta in like prosthetics. They look insane. There's like battles.
Oh, I want to go as one of them for Halloween this year.
Oh, that's a great idea. Yeah. You should really do that. So there's these insane battles between like Earth people and extraterrestrials. And then like 2/3 of the way through the movie, it's revealed that they're in Utah or like maybe Colorado. No, it's Colorado. Yeah. It's just like you see a sign that says Denver Public Library. And it's like, what? That I remember watching that with Scott, and that twist like shocked me when I saw it at the time because no one saw Battlefield Earth, so no one like talks about that. It's not like a legendary 2000s movie twist.
Yeah,
but it should be. Whereas Book of Eli, everyone's like, and then it's the Bible.
Yep. This is a good movie for like Christian bros.
I bet it was.
Or just like I feel like a lot of jocks I knew. Or former jocks, I should say.
Sure.
I was in sort of tail end of college when this came out.
Right. Former jocks, current IPA guys.
Yeah. Yeah. They really liked this movie. It's a movie for very stupid people.
I hate to say it, but I think that's true.
You put it a good way before we started podcasting. It was an intensely Reddit-y movie.
Yes, I would say one of the most Reddit movies I've personally seen. I would put it up there with like Inception, which I actually really want to watch again. I only saw that once in theaters when it came out.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, another movie, famous for its like twists and turns and very like plot heavy shenanigans. I want to see them. I want to like that movie so bad because like it's so funny. I really wanted to like it. I honestly wanted to like this movie. I found myself very bored by it. But really quick, just the facts about Book of Eli here. An action film directed by the Hughes Brothers. Not to be confused with the Blues Brothers.
What have they done? What have they done for us lately?
The Hughes Brothers had a string of 90s and 2000s hits.
Oh, shit.
MENACE II Society.
I love that movie.
I've actually never seen that one. Dead Presidents.
Oh, shit. I love that. I love these guys.
Okay, so...
They shaped my childhood.
Wow. Well, I can't tell if they're twins or they just look similar.
Yes. They are twin sons of Armenian-American mother and an African-American father.
Oh, very cool. I was going to say, I thought they were black.
Albert is older by 9 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, it was interesting because this movie was categorized as like black cinema on the Wikipedia article. And it was like kind of nice to think of it that way because it wasn't like overtly that. And you see that a lot in media where it's like things get categorized as that. I don't know. It would be interesting to hear what they thought about the movie because that is like, I know a lot of artists of different like quote unquote minority ethnicities or like cultural subsects do not like being pigeonholed into that because I would not watch this movie and be like, oh, this is a quote unquote black movie.
Right. Yeah. This is a movie about
even
the
though
black
it
experience.
is like a black star and black directors, but it's like written by a guy. It was written. I looked up the guy who wrote it, and he was like the editor of like PC Gamer magazine for like 15 years.
So that's a very interesting combination here.
And he's like a Fedora Reddit guy.
So the writer of this film is Gary Whitta. He is notable for, per Wikipedia, co-writing After Earth with M. Night. And he also...
That's a Scientology movie.
Is that really?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. I want to watch that. We could do a Scientology block
That'd be
later
kind
in
of
the
fun.
year. That would be really fun.
Probably actually get some listeners if we do that. Get a pander.
Yeah. We could get some people showing up at our houses as well.
Yeah. Is this a bonus episode or is it a...
It's a free episode.
Oh, fuck. I got to be careful about what I say.
He also co-developed the story for Rogue One.
That's cool.
So, yeah, I agree. We have this very interesting 2010 action hybrid that's like coming from these like accomplished directors of American thrillers with a black focus and, you know, that are mainstays in black pop culture, and also this like sci-fi and video game blockbuster writer.
Yeah.
And I actually think that thinking of this movie as a hybrid of those two things really like explains the tone of the film. Because I do think that there were a lot of parts of it that felt like a video game cutscene or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. Not to generalize Mr. Whitta's work.
Yeah.
But
it was totally devoid of any political or social commentary, despite being basically about how the Bible is the best book in the world.
That's fascinating to think about, actually, because you know, we can say that. I could say this, and one could either think of this as a critique or a compliment, but by nature of the fact that its filmmaker and star were black, and by nature of the fact that it had a strong Christian message, I think it could be easy for a cultural critic to put this in a category as being like inspirational black Christian cinema.
Yeah.
But somehow it managed, either intentionally or unintentionally, to not really convey any political or religious weight.
Yeah.
Which could be a good thing, because it's just like, oh yeah, you don't have to have those qualities in a movie and have the movie be about that thing. I mean, isn't that the thing that we're, not just we, but like lots of people are constantly complaining that all art does, you know, nowadays is reduce itself to identity categories. But also it's kind of funny how like hollow it was and how it didn't really manage to like make it stand for anything.
Yeah. It's interesting that I didn't even realize until just now that it's from the directors of MENACE II Society and Dead Presidents, which are two extremely like political social commentary movies.
I haven't seen either, to be honest. I mean, tell me.
Yeah, I
Tell me about
mean,
it.
like Dead Presidents is about like black Vietnam vets who come back to America and have to like rob a bank to like survive.
Yeah,
it's
very
like an awesome
story.
movie. And like MENACE Society is all about like growing up poor black in America in the like 80s. And I guess they also did From Hell with Johnny Depp, which I have not seen. It's just interesting that this movie that's about like post-apocalyptic America and the Bible is so devoid of any sort of messaging. It felt very similar to a lot of the media we watch from the 90s that we talk about how like Christianity is just the default. Like the kind of hand wave over it at the end which we'll talk about when they show like the other books on the shelf. But like this movie very much could have just stated like Christianity is the correct religion. And it basically does, but it just does it in such a matter-of-fact way. Like there's literally people in a wasteland killing each other to get a copy of the Bible. In a world where like the barter scene was actually pretty cool, where he was just like, do you have any chapstick? Like, that's what I think about. It's like the Bible was just so inherently valuable when like there was no money, nothing. The Bible's just a book of paper, but like in the scene where he's bartering to get like some batteries or whatever, he's like, Tom Waits' character is just like asking him for like chapstick and like hand wipes and stuff, where it's like these are actually useful things.
Right.
It reminds me of a mutual friend of ours who has one day told me when we were living together that I need to start buying gold chains and gold jewelry because if the grid ever goes down, I'm going to need to barter with people. And I was just like laughing to myself watching that scene because I'm just like thinking like my response was just like, some guy is going to be like holding me at gunpoint and I'm going to be like, here, take my gold watch.
Right.
Like, and give me like, I'm just going to be like,
chapstick.
Like, yeah. Where am I going to, what am I going to fucking try to give somebody who has food? I'm going to be like, give me some food and I'll give you this gold watch. And they're going to be like, cool. That has no value anymore.
Yeah,
because the grid is down.
Right. That's a good point. Yeah. In the world building of this movie, they made it clear that the only objects of essentially monetary value were ones that served purposes, whether that was bringing like comfort or some sort of use to someone's life. But yes, as you were just saying, the Bible in this film is depicted as the most useful thing. It is the cause, despite being a collection of ideas. And by the way, contrasted with other books, which are they're looking at like the Da Vinci Code in this movie, and that book is seen as valueless,
right?
Because it serves no purpose, even if that purpose is just to entertain. But the Bible is more valuable than even a battery pack or something like that. And
because of
could not be said of a gold chain.
Exactly.
Necessarily in this universe.
And like, and by showing like books that don't have value and then showing the Bible has value, they're basically just saying like, oh, it has value because of the written words inside of it, like the messages it has.
Yes. Despite
the fact that this movie is like supposedly 30 years into the future. Like, I don't know at what point this like nuclear holocaust happened.
Right.
But it didn't seem like so far into the future that people like forgot what was in the Bible, or it would even give a shit what was in the Bible.
Yes. Let's talk a little bit about some of the world building in this film. It takes place in the near future, not super far into the future, because we meet characters in the film like the evil Carnegie.
Yes.
Who have a memory of Earth in the before times, as they say in this film. Therefore, he's depicted in the film as being what? A man in his 50s or something like that.
Played by Gary Oldman.
Right.
Who, this is definitely one of those roles where I was like, he is not a good actor. He just does the same. He's literally just doing the same thing he does in like every movie, which is kind of just overact.
Yeah. Yes.
He can be good. Don't get me wrong. Don't at us.
I was not. I did not care for him at all in this film. It was totally just meaningless. And there was some sort of event that happened that caused the world to be a Mad Max style dirt wasteland.
Yeah.
Characters refer to it as the Flash.
Yeah.
Because it was apparently the cause of mass blindness, because there's a discussion between Eli and between Carnegie's wife, I do not remember her name, where Eli, played by Denzel Washington, asks her basically if she was born that way or if it was a result of the Flash. And in her case, she was born that way. But, we do a little sci-fi world building. People are just talking about something as if it was an event that we would all know about.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't know about it, folks. And that's called science fiction. Okay.
Yeah.
So, I'm a little perturbed by the fact that we stopped recording.
Oh, is that?
Oh. Okay. We're recording again. I don't know what happened, but I was just talking about how it was clever sci-fi world building. That something called The Flash happened, and we're supposed to know about it, and we don't because it's science fiction, y'all.
Yeah.
And that's very clever.
And now the world has descended into basically two factions, which is nice people,
right,
and then the crazy people who
right.
seem to be the ones with whatever little power you can have over little outposts, and then occasionally there's some random people who are also not doing too well. There's some interesting characters kind of in this. Denzel Washington plays Eli,
our lead,
our protagonist.
The most Reddit casting. Like, he's good in the movie, but it's such a just like, oh, isn't it freaking epic? It's Denzel Washington.
Yeah.
Like,
everybody was kind of just doing like their characters that they're like known for in this movie.
Right.
Like Gary Oldman was just sort of like very like, villain who acts up a bunch when he's upset or whatever. And then like Denzel Washington was like, just did his thing where he's like speaking very calmly when like a scary situation. I'm thinking of when he's like trying to get out of the cannibal people's house or whatever. And he's just like,
they're cannibals. We got to go. We got to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. It was just like all very, it was like a greatest hits thing for these actors at this point in their career.
I got to say, personal pet peeve, I fucking hate that stupid matter of fact 2000s action hero shit where it's just like, well, I always know what to say and I'm getting out of here. I don't give a fuck. It's so boring. Every movie that's been popular since I'm a kid has been like that.
Yeah.
I hate it.
He's like, that's why I like Jackie Chan so much.
Absolutely.
Because in his movies, he's the hero and he just gets the shit beat out of him. He's constantly getting embarrassed and like fucking up and like accidentally like getting out of situations. But like, a lot of times the American hero, especially in like the 2010s, is always just like, I'm basically just like a quiet guy who kind of hates women and just like knows exactly what is going on and all the time. It's like people who like memorize every escape route as soon as they walk into a room. That's like the American badass or whatever.
Absolutely.
And I want people who are just straight up losers.
Yeah.
Who come out on top.
No, I agree. I think Jackie Chan is a great foil to this because, like, I mean, I'm thinking of like Police Story, but he's like obviously extremely competent, but he's also like nerdy and endearing in the way, even though he's like an impeccable martial artist,
with
a great command over his environment. He's always still getting yelled at by his boss anyway. You know? Like,
I think that's like a coincidence that he's good at martial arts, and like stunts and stuff, but he's just so like an idiot.
Yeah, I just
which probably not the vibe they were going for with Book of Eli, but that would have been fun.
That could have been really fun. I just every fucking movie from this era is meant so it's like you're in theaters and Denzel Washington says, "We gotta get the fuck out of here," and people go,
yeah,
and that's how you're supposed to react in the theater.
And Mila Kunis is just like, "What are you talking? Why do we have to go?"
Yeah, what are you doing?
Yeah,
why take me with you?
It's the appeal to the fucking 13-year-old boys. It's crazy that this shit is made by like grown men. Grown adults will like make these movies and they're like for little babies.
Yes. Okay, so speaking of this, here's a post that's going viral on x.com today.
Oh.
It is just simply a list of the current top ranked movies on IMDb.
The Internet Movie Database.
Yes. Top 20 movies in history according to IMDb. Do you agree? And this tweet is basically going viral with so-called film bros saying how this is a very bad list.
Okay.
Here, I'll read them for you. This is from 1 to 20.
Yeah.
And Julian, I would like your reaction.
What should I say? Thumbs up, thumbs down?
That's interesting. There's definitely, I'll just say ahead, there's definitely some on this list that make sense. But I think it would be nice for me to read all 20 of them because I think all 20 of them as a group say more than any one individual.
Okay. So reaction to the whole list.
Yes.
Each
if anything really strikes you along the way, I won't censor you.
Okay.
But let me read this to you.
I can't be censored.
No, that's for sure. I mean, I could try.
You can try, but you're going to get your fucking hands cut off like Book of Eli style.
Yeah, right. Number one movie of all time, according to IMDb ratings, The Shawshank Redemption.
I can understand why I don't necessarily agree.
Yep.
In fact, I don't agree at all. I can understand why that is number one.
No, that's basically what this whole list is, and that's why it's so infuriating.
Can I guess what number 2 is?
Yeah.
Forrest Gump.
So that one is number 11.
Oh, wow.
But you were not,
times have changed.
You were not far. Yeah, right. Because at some point that would have been number 2. But you're right in that it's in the top 20, decidedly. Are there any more?
Dark Knight.
That's number 3. Number 3.
Number 2.
Number 2 is
based on IMDb, Avengers.
Is Avengers on this list? No. Number 2 is The Godfather. Which is, a great movie. Amazing movie, in fact.
Yeah.
Here, I'll read some others. This is in order. So that we had our 1, 2, 3. 3 is The Dark Knight. 4 is The Godfather Part 2.
Okay.
5, 12 Angry Men. 6, Schindler's List. 7, Lord of the Rings, Return of the King.
Okay, now we're getting more my speed.
I think those movies have aged so poorly.
I have such a strong desire to rewatch them, but
Let's
I
rewatch
can't
them.
Sit down and do it. So we should watch it. We should get nitrous and watch them all.
We're gonna need a lot of nitrous.
I mean, I just want to. I just kind of want to have them on in the background while like a party is happening, but also kind of like watch party. But like, I just can't figure. I can't. I'm trying to recapture something from my youth.
I know, yeah, but
it's just not there anymore.
I know we need nitrous.
Yeah.
Number 8, Pulp Fiction. Which I love that movie.
Yeah.
Great movie.
Yeah.
Number 9, Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring.
Okay.
Number 10, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
All right.
11, I already said Forrest Gump.
Yeah.
12, Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers. So that means all three Peter Jackson, Lord of the Rings are in the top 20 of all time. 13, Fight Club.
All right.
14, Dune Part 2.
Like the one that came out last year.
Yes.
That was one of the best movies ever.
It's the highest rated according to total ratings. The algorithm of like
there's a lot
ratings,
of recency bias in the IMDb lists.
Yeah, there is. 15, Inception.
Okay.
16, The Empire Strikes Back. 17, The Matrix. 18, Goodfellas. 19, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, and finally 20, Seven. So we have to do a who's on first routine.
I was just about to say. I don't know how to do it.
Just say
7. What?
Seven. What?
Yeah,
but 7 is the Lord of the Rings: Return of the King. No, 20 is 7.
So it's Lord of the Rings again.
Yes.
Honestly, I feel like 7's probably the best movie out of all of those.
That's a good question. What is your favorite of the 20 on the list? Mine is probably The Matrix.
Yeah, I feel like in terms of like what if I had to pick from one of those 20 to just stop what we're doing right now and watch?
Yeah.
It would probably be either 7 or The Matrix.
I'd say
but
The
I
Matrix
also wouldn't say
Fiction.
they're like the best movies ever.
Right.
I don't know. Well, I mean, I guess like 7's pretty fucking rad. That's like definitely in the wheelhouse of things that I would be like, that was fucking awesome. That was like a cool mystery with like shitty detectives and it's all grisly.
Yeah.
I think that's I think that's mostly because I would be like, I wish I was watching Cure right now.
Sure.
But I don't know. I just like, I understand this list. I understand where it's coming from.
I feel like Book of Eli may as well be in that list.
Yeah, it's probably not much farther down.
Yeah, it's probably in the top 100. I don't know off the top of my head, but like, I just think Book of Eli is catered perfectly to have kind of like its own unique vibe, but be centered like decidedly among this type of American movie.
Yes. And I gotta say, this list, it doesn't upset me.
No.
Well, I got bad news for you.
Well, that's why it's so infuriating, because like it's so uncontroversial and just so like comfortable in a certain wheelhouse of like American cinema of the last 30 years or something.
Yeah.
Let There Be Light, nowhere to be found.
That's sad. Really disappointing. And I have bad news for you that Book of Eli is seemingly in the 1,000 to 1,100 range on all of the movies on
I mean, IMDb. I'm not going to shed a tear, but thanks for checking.
But it does have that vibe. It feels like it was going for this. Not that like it's, if you're making a movie, you should be proud of what you do and like have fun with it and enjoy it. And you want to when you make art, you kind of want to make something good, whatever that means to you. But like this did feel like it was kind of going for like, we're making a fucking good movie.
I know.
Which is like, Fury Road, I feel like they weren't trying to do that. And it ended up being a fucking incredible movie because it was just like, let's make the movie that makes me, George Miller, happy.
Sure.
Let's not. I don't care about the fucking whatever, the IMDb top 20.
Yeah, I don't care about the message boarders.
Yeah.
So
also, like, it's just fucking pathetic to see be mad about seeing the fucking IMDb top 20 list.
Well, that you don't have an X account. You don't have an X account. That's why you're saying this right now. That's all what we do. That's what makes us happy.
The poster's dilemma.
Yes, it's the poster's dilemma. The poster's experiment. The posts of Eli.
The book.
So I have in my notes first thoughts of the movie. This is like 2 minutes in. I wrote, this movie seems really stupid. Stylized homelessness. He's blind and feeds a rat. There's a woman in full Rick Owens outfit moaning about a shopping cart.
Was it clear he was blind at the beginning?
You know what? I may have in my head, yes, but I might have just known that about the movie, so I knew. He's definitely acting
I knew he
blind.
was blind, and I thought that was the big twist at the I think that was supposed to be the big twist at the end. But I think the twist was out of the bag for the longest time. That anybody who knows this movie knows that he's blind.
That's
the twist. Because the whole thing at the end was like, spoiler alert, the Bible is in Braille. And it's worthless to those with sight.
Right.
But because I was watching this thinking that the twist at the end was that he was blind, and the whole time I was watching this, I was like, look at all the fucking stupid things that they're trying to like, oh, let's rewatch Book of Eli and be like, whoa, it's so clear he's blind.
Yeah, right.
But if you know that, it's just like, it looks so shitty.
Yeah, it's just like, why is he acting like that? I don't know. I felt like I get, again, that this is a blockbuster movie.
Yeah.
But I think, so for Mad Max, it helps that we're treating Mad Max like, okay, we're in a sci-fi world. Book of Eli is, sure, it's a new story. I don't know, what Book of Eli is or whatever. But my first reaction when I saw like the woman on the ground with the shopping cart, who may as well have been dressed in head to toe Rick Owens, because that was like how they styled her.
Yeah.
My first thought was like, this is fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Because like, why is she in the end of the world and she looks like she could walk the runway at Rick Owens?
I think they were going for like a Fist of the North Star kind of thing with like, kind of like leather daddy post-apocalyptic.
Sure. Which
is also Mad Max, but like
a well-trodden like sci-fi trope.
Yeah.
But I guess I just didn't really, when watching this movie, it just like caught me off guard because I was just like, I didn't, this is gonna sound so stupid, but it's just like the movie didn't make me think like I was gonna be watching a sci-fi movie. I thought I was gonna be watching a movie about the end of the world.
Right, yeah.
And like a movie where it's like trying to set so much as if like this is in our world. Then why are homeless people at the end of the world dressed better than people who I see in and out?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I feel like they couldn't commit to any sort of like clear creative vision.
Yes, I agree.
So it just felt
because
like,
they wanted it to look cool, which is like, that's not a crime.
And
Like
so
I get
they were
it.
just like, let's desaturate everything, which looks like shit, mind you. I cannot believe there was a period of time where every movie looked like this and we accepted it. We ate the slop up.
I mean, we will continue to do that. Maybe it was then when they learned that we truly will eat whatever slop they give us.
Yep. We're out there eating the Sphinx cats that we catch.
That was pretty funny.
Cat oil.
As someone who is a connoisseur of animal death in movies, because I think it's a really funny joke, I actually was like really excited to see a movie where the first thing that happens is like they kill a cat.
Yeah,
I was like, okay, that's
gruesome.
real.
Yeah, it was a surprisingly gruesome movie.
Yeah, it was.
It's pretty violent. Some of the fighting was cool. I thought the fight in the bar was pretty sick.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I mean, it's just like such a boring fucking thing of just like quiet Sigma guy walks through the fucking wasteland with his whiny girlfriend who's not actually, but it's like a weirdly sexless relationship. And
yes, that's a really good point.
Yeah.
Great point. That was something I wanted to
He's
talk
like
about.
above sex too.
Yes.
I mean, it was probably good that he was, because she was like a concubine at one point, but like it was just very, very like weird. It's that Reddit-y energy of like being like, I'm above these matters of the flesh because I am a sapiosexual.
Yes, absolutely. So that's very interesting. I'm really glad you brought that up. So in Book of Eli, the evil, politician or warlord or whatever, Carnegie, he's a big shot, but really he just runs like one town. Because again, these are all just like satellite towns in an anarchist, post-apocalyptic future. Yeah, he literally, I'm pretty sure, I think it's a Salome situation. I think Mila Kunis is like his daughter by relationship.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And he like pimps her out.
Yeah.
Because his thing is like, VIPs in his town, like they have access to sexy women. And one of those is like his daughter. But yeah, that is so fucking Reddit. The action hero who is a virile, I mean, he might be older, but he's still like a virile, like active, fit male. And he does not at all deploy male sexuality.
Yeah.
Because we live in a society where male sexuality is demonized and you are not allowed to express it. So all you're allowed to do is asexuality, like samurai asexuality, or like safe horniness. Which is like, safe horniness is saying like, I like girls with big noses. Like that's like hot to me or whatever. It's like, okay, that might be true, but I'm just saying that's like a safe opinion.
Yeah.
Or saying like, hey, big girls, that's okay with me. That is like the safest horny opinion that you can have. Because it allows you to like express. Another safe horny thing that people do is being like, I'm into older women.
Yeah.
Because it like allows you to like express male sexuality, but in this non-threatening way that also signals that you have like the correct social opinions. And it's very stifling.
You would have liked this movie better if he was like a MILF hunter.
Yes. If
wandering the wasteland.
I'm trying to think of what book it'd be really funny for him to have in Braille if he was like, he has a copy of Lolita by. It's actually just a bumper sticker that says MILF Hunter, but it's in Braille.
Speaking of top of lists, isn't it kind of fucked up that Lolita's always on like the top of like greatest books of all time.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a good book. I read it when I was in high school. I don't know. I should read it again.
I read it probably like 10 years ago, and I was just kind of
What'd you think?
I mean, the writing was good, but I was kind of like, I can't really tell if people who read this understand that the main guy is like crazy. I don't even know if it was meant to be like, well, I don't know a whole lot about Nabokov. But I got the impression like, oh, this is like a glimpse into like a mentally ill person.
Yeah.
Like a lot of great literature. You're not necessarily supposed to enjoy the hero.
You're missing the point by idolizing him.
Yeah, but then I kind of was just like, I get that he has a very like beautiful romantic language, but he's talking about like a 12-year-old, and I'm like, I can't really get over the fact. Maybe I'm just too woke now.
Sure.
But I really can't get over the fact that like people are like,
there's something beautiful about this. Or whatever.
Yeah, I'm like, this is a deranged person.
Yeah. Well, as I said, I read it when I was in high school. I can't really speak to it because I'm not really sure what the device is trying to do just because it's been so long.
Yeah.
But I feel like that one's just, I feel like that's an IMDb top 20 type book because it's like well written, but also like very readable and easy to grasp.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, 1984. It's like a genuinely good book.
Yeah.
But people like it because you can like read it when you have a high school grasp of literature, but it's still like a classic.
Yeah.
And that's like the highest level anyone will ever read at in our society because people be functionally illiterate anyway. So it's like if you're reading that book, then good for you because everyone else is just reading like TikToks.
Yeah. And it is a very Reddit-y book too, because you can picture the like my M38 girlfriend F12 does not appreciate the love letters that I write her.
Yeah. This book could have been
the title of the book.
This book could have been an r/AITA post, but they didn't have that format back then, so you had to write a whole classic work of Western literature. But,
and that is like the modern literature is reading the Am I the Asshole? Or
for better or worse, yes, I do agree with that. Yeah. Reddit, which famously is completely fictional.
Yes.
So I would agree that AITA posts are great works of Western literature for that reason. Yeah. The purpose of Reddit is to write a 3-paragraph long piece of fiction that can be screenshotted and posted on Twitter by accounts called like the Naughty Hellenist.
Oh.
And that's the economy that we live in. It's like
we're not trading cat oil and KFC wipes yet.
Right.
It's crazy. Okay, it's crazy that they remembered like KFC jingles. Right. Yet seemingly nobody could remember any passages from the Bible.
Yeah, right. Like no one could be like, the Lord is my shepherd.
Maybe that's a statement on capitalism. Mm-hmm. But it was kind of weird that two guys who were in their like 40s, maybe a little older if Tom Waits' character, but like they were like singing KFC jingles to each other. And it's like, you remember that, but like you can't fucking remember any of the like 10 commandments.
Yeah, totally.
And because of that, society has completely fallen into disarray because nobody can remember the Bible. Nobody could remember that, oh, it sucks to be killed.
Yeah.
Because they didn't have the Bible.
Yeah. That's a really good point. No, I think that's an indictment of the Book of Eli as a whole. Again, it was a movie that communicated as if it was to say, pay attention to this lore. It's so important.
Yeah.
But actually the lore was completely stupid and arbitrary and was only done to make an aesthetic point.
Yes.
Which is fine, but it's like, then don't take yourself so goddamn seriously as like a piece. So many like of the same genre of American action movie are like this. Like they use plausible deniability of saying like, well, it's just like an action movie.
Yeah.
But then they treat the whole movie as if it was like, no, guys, like this makes sense.
Yeah,
like you got to listen.
profound.
You got to listen to the first act, like to really get the third act or whatever. And it's like, no, this movie's fucking stupid. It just like is so arbitrary. It's so hackneyed. As you said, it's doing stuff intentionally. So upon rewatch, you can be like, that was so clever that they put that there. Just like makes my skin crawl. I fucking hate movies like
and
this.
like the plot the twist at the end that like the Bible's in Braille is just has absolutely no impact on the story whatsoever.
No,
in any way except to be like, oh, a blind person could see, quote unquote, better than everybody else. But it was just like, what was the point of all that?
Yeah, I think that is what it's trying to do. You know, it's trying to say, you know, on one level, say that someone who is denied some of their earthly senses might have more perception in the spiritual realm than someone who has it all.
Yeah.
Like Carnegie, who, even though he still lives very inconvenienced by the post-apocalyptic world, he has like the most creature comforts, access to clean water, room and board, like, he has like a bar, he has a house to live in when most people sleep in like tents and whatever. So, he is blinded by his like connection to earthliness.
Which is funny because there was like nothing to fucking, it's not like, oh, I could understand it more if like the world was really cool and there was a lot of stuff to get distracted by. And you'd think that seemingly this blind person was missing out on all this cool shit going on because he couldn't see it. But really, he was able to focus on like the true thing that mattered, which is the word of God. But there's like, I don't know. I was like, if he could see, would his fucking personality be any different? Like,
that is such a good point. And
it's like fucking people getting their like throats ripped out and like living in squalor.
Yes. Well,
what supposed to be like, oh, he's missing out on this because he can't see.
You know what he made me realize? Eli is the perfect character for the elites to tell to the commoners, you will own nothing and you will be happy.
Yeah.
Because Eli is literally like, he is not able to see the failing world around him where more and more is denied to people.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just like totally fine with it.
Yep.
Because he literally can't like perceive half the things most people do. And that's like his strength.
Yeah.
It's as if the elites are saying to us, oh, just eat the bugs. Just eat the bugs. Why?
Well,
Eli likes the
cat.
bugs.
He ate the hairless cat.
He ate the cat. You will eat the hairless cat and you will like it.
You got to keep your, last name Carnegie. I think we know about that.
Another ham-fisted allusion to culture. Ooh, what if this evil white guy had the same name as like, a billionaire who owned half of America or whatever?
Yeah.
Honestly, I would have legitimately, I know this is 2010, I would have legitimately respected this movie a lot more if that guy's name was like Bezos.
Yeah.
Like I would have been like, okay, they're cooking.
It would be way ahead of its time.
I know. But I would have been like, I think Bezos was still like a billionaire back then.
Yeah.
He was not like in the public sphere as much as he was now, but I think he was like a billionaire.
Yeah.
I would have been like, okay, they're cooking.
Yeah, honestly, like I feel like a lot of people I know didn't really like in Mickey 17 how the bad guy is just like straight up basically like a Trump impression.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't see
But
that yet.
like, I don't know, that kind of made me like it more.
Yeah,
maybe it's
like
because I was in 4DX and I was getting like fucking
you're getting
CTE from I'm getting finger fucked while I'm getting CTE from the seat flying around. But I was kind of like, I like that they're not fucking beating around the bush.
No, I can
It's a
see
very
that.
cartoony movie, so I was just like, why not just be like, do the most obvious thing? It wasn't a good Trump impression, but I was just like, that's.
But
funny.
it's like about our times in a way that's like kind of unabashed and raw.
Yeah.
Again, haven't seen the movie, but like I can see what you're saying and like why that would be commendable instead of being like, it's going to be a Trump allegory.
Yeah, yeah.
By a guy who is like it's just like a normal guy. And then like one time he says bigly in the movie and you're like, oh, wait, this guy's like Trump.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
like, let's just do a Trump impression. That's funny.
I'm just letting go. I'm letting go of all the
let go,
all the hater energy.
Yeah, absolutely. Save it all for the Book of Eli.
Yeah, exactly.
Save it all for the podcast. By the way, we're only haters on the podcast. You should see us in our day-to-day lives. We're saying like namaste and things of that nature.
Yes.
I'm saying I'm waving at babies and strollers. Okay?
And they wave back. Everywhere I go, people say I love you.
Yes,
I love you.
Love you.
I had to film deposition of a guy a long time ago who was committing like fraud on his house, on his like vacation house for like the 10th time, and he was like, every time they'd be like, so you left the door unlocked when you left for vacation for like 3 weeks or whatever, and the burglars came like hours after you left, and he would just be like, you accuse me of lying. I'll tell you, every time I go back to Iran, everyone loves me. They say, they come up to me and they say that I love you. I love you so much. Every person, you've done so much for me. I was just like, man, that's so funny. Yeah, I was like, man, I really hope you're right, and you are just like the most beloved person who's being wrongfully accused right now.
It might be very unfair. Like, we don't know that. Yeah. Imagine a country where you go. I think that's what like some people think Israel's going to be like.
Yeah, you're going to go to the Trump boardwalk on the Gaza Strip,
and you just walk around. Everyone goes, "I love you.
I love you so much. I love you."
Everyone's like on Molly.
Welcome home. It's like the end of Evangelion. Yeah. Congratulations, everyone, to the fucking evangelical above ground pool salesman.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm going to move to the Gaza Strip as soon as all this settles.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's what they think it's going to be like.
Yeah.
But yes, that's my conclusion from this film. Eli is the perfect man in a fallen world because he is lucky to be stripped of the common human senses of sight and sexuality.
Yep.
He is virtuous that he does not choose to perceive the world.
It's true.
Now, Christianity isn't Buddhism, but Christianity does, like as any major religion should, talks about how the pleasures of the flesh can be very disappointing, and at worst can even be your downfall. I think there's a very good lesson in that. But I also, the artist in me, the libertine in me, can't help but feel saddened by people who would gladly go around this world and say, I'm just going to cut myself off from the pleasures this world has to offer.
Yeah.
Where is the line between pleasure that is good and pleasure that causes the soul to suffer? I don't know. But wouldn't it be cowardly to not try to find that line?
I mean, why would God give us all these earthly pleasures if she didn't want us to use them?
I agree. Why would God make a cucumber if he didn't want me to tickle my prostate?
It's the perfect shape.
It's the perfect size. I'm like Ray Comfort doing the banana argument for for like how bananas have a handle and they fit perfectly in the human hand, but it's like the cucumber fits perfectly in the male ass.
Yeah, I mean, that's why we have people like Eli,
right,
who are willing to cut themselves off from that, exploring that aspect of life. So in a way, we should be commending him for staying true to the word of the Lord and remembering it committing it to memory while the rest of us, use our existence to experience God's.
So,
like God's creation.
Yes. So you're saying Eli is like the one child who's being tortured in like the utopian city.
Yes.
From that, who is that? Like Ursula Le Guin or something?
I forget.
One of those sci-fi authors. And okay, that's cool. So Eli becomes a Christ-like figure. He's by being
that was not obvious
by being
a lot
blind.
of the stuff in the movie.
Sure, I guess. But I like that by being blind and by being having full command of Mila Kunis and not tapping that.
Yeah.
He's actually self-flagellating and suffering.
Yeah. Because his purpose is to spread the word of the Lord and right. Everybody else is, see, the people have gone astray because they're out here like fucking killing each other when
right.
They could just be, fucking and sucking.
Well, sure.
And just getting along.
Yeah.
And that's, I think that's what we're missing in this world, and what he's trying to get back is like this sort of understanding that, I don't even know what I'm talking about.
What's
anymore.
so funny about peace, love, and understanding? That's what I have to say. That's what I have to say. What happens at the end of the Book of Eli?
Not a lot happens in the whole movie. Except then at some point they're like chasing Eli because he has the Bible, right. And Mila Kunis left with him. And then they go to like a cabin where there's these old people who are cannibals.
British
cannibals living in like Nevada or wherever the fuck they were. They were in like Bakersfield at this point because they walk like 2 hours and they're in the San Francisco Bay. Everybody is extremely well-fed and healthy in this environment where you have to walk like 600 miles to find like a drop of water.
And where, mind you, every character we meet immediately gets like killed and raped.
Yes.
Like it seems as though you couldn't even stay alive for a couple days.
Yeah.
But anyway, go on.
There's also that brutal attempted essay scene on Mila Kunis where like Eli for whatever reason just waited until she was like on the verge of being like horribly abused before he finally killed the two guys who were doing it. This movie was fucking stupid.
It's really stupid.
Yeah, they meet some old cannibal people which that scene was kind of fun. It wasn't good.
It was delightful.
Yeah, and then there's like a big shootout with Gary Oldman's crew, and they shoot Eli in the stomach, which he survives for some reason, and they take his Bible, and then the movie ends with the very funny scene where Mila Kunis and Denzel Washington are taking a rowboat to Alcatraz, because that's like the last outpost of like intelligent people, it seems. Like the keepers of like all the books.
Right.
But it was really funny because he had been shot in the stomach, and for some reason he is like rowing the boat to Alcatraz, and Mila Kunis is just like watching him do it before he finally like keels over basically, and then she's like, okay, I'll help you row the boat. Which I don't know, that was a pretty funny like.
Why does he get shot like 8 times in this movie and he's fine?
I guess because he has the power of, he has the drive. He has the Christian drive.
I guess so. I mean, if that's the reason, then whatever. But there was one scene when he gets like shot in the back and he keeps walking. I actually thought to myself, like, is he wearing like armor?
I thought when he got shot in the stomach, he was gonna like reveal that he was wearing bulletproof vest or something.
Yeah.
But he just straight up was just shot in the stomach and lives for like 4 more days.
Yeah, rowing, doing hard labor because like.
And so Gary Oldman opens the Bible and it's in Braille and nobody can read it except for maybe his wife who is blind, or his like sex slave who's blind, but she won't tell him that she can actually read it.
She says she doesn't remember.
Yeah, and so he's pissed off. He dies of an infected wound, and his reign of terror is over. But then Eli gets to Alcatraz and he says, I have a King James Bible for you, but he doesn't have the Bible. And I guess the twist is that I guess this is where you realize he's blind and he's been reading the Bible every chance he gets throughout the movie, and he recites the entire Bible word for word to the scribe at this place. And then I don't even understand why these things happen, but they put the copy of the freshly written copy of the Bible. Oh, they start printing copies of the King James Bible. They have a printing press, and then they put a copy of the Bible on the bookshelf right next to the Torah or the Tanakh, as they call it, and the Quran.
Right.
So you can't be like, well, I guess it's not a Christian movie. I guess we only saw the part of this world where they were getting the King James Bible. But I was also just
we didn't see like the Muslim version of the Book of Henry.
Yeah.
Where
the Book of Eli.
Oh, fuck. Yeah. I love the Book of Henry. Yeah, the Muslim version of the Book of Eli where they have the Braille Quran.
Yeah.
They I don't know. I guess it could happen, but I like to imagine they re-release this film in every country with a different, the most appropriate book.
Yeah. The Bronze Age pervert one. Dianetics.
Yeah.
The Little Red Book.
Oh my God, that would be such a good.
I would love to watch the Chinese one.
The Chinese version and then at the end he delivers the Little Red Book, and then at the end it's like, Carnegie was killed for his crimes against the state. There's a title that pops up that says like, Eli was rewarded with a statue in the town square, and Carnegie was executed for his materialist crimes.
Yeah, but this movie was just kind of fucking pointless, and it really did feel like it was just like smart person trying to make like, I don't know. There's just so many little fucking twists at the end that were just amounted to nothing.
Right. The whole premise was that I guess Eli's going west throughout the whole movie. He was en route to deliver the payload of his Bible knowledge to a guy who kind of looked like Albert Einstein on Alcatraz. I guess that was where he was going, and this whole adventure was just because he was like waylaid along the way.
Yeah.
But yeah, the movie just really felt to me like, again, I get this is like a fictional movie. It's a story that didn't happen, but it's just like, why did all of this other shit have to happen? Why was there like a blind woman and like Carnegie and like,
I'm so glad I feel like this is the tail end of the era of movies where like they all had to have like twists or something.
Yes.
Like movies just existed from like The Sixth Sense to basically the Book of Eli.
The Book of Eli.
It felt like
that's the timeline.
Every major movie just existed to have some crazy twist at the end.
Yep.
To make you be like, whoa, I gotta rewatch that. I mean, like Fight Club.
Sure.
Similarly, it's like that it's like that genre of movie, like entertaining, stupid guy.
M. Night, who, we love. All my friends love M. Night, but like that's what you just described is what most of his oeuvre is like.
Yeah.
No, I agree. It's a good thing that Book of Eli, by trying to introduce Christianity into this genre, killed the entire genre.
Yep.
And also, I mean, it wasn't even brave enough to stick the landing at the end by saying Christianity was, at the end of the movie, Christianity was just another book on the shelf.
Exactly.
Next to the fucking Quran.
Yeah, I was like, what is this going to change about you're putting more division into this horribly like fractured world. I'm not saying that like, shouldn't have any of the other religion or like one is right or the other, but I'm just like, what is this supposed to solve?
Yeah.
You already have the Quran.
Right.
What are you saying about the Quran that is like, well, we have the Quran, but nothing changed, so let's try the Christianity.
Yeah,
this
now
time.
we need the Bible. That's the really big piece here.
I'm like, I don't think like the core things in either of these books are all that much different.
Right.
but like for some reason, like, yeah. Good news, everybody. You can be Jewish, Christian, or Muslim now. And everybody's
finally.
like, hooray.
Yeah, new.
Now we can all get along.
That reminds me that there's like a Quran recitations. That's like a very popular thing to do. In Islam, the way I'm wording this is probably so disrespectful. I'm just like looking this up so I say this right. I think it's very beautiful.
Yeah.
There's people who are skilled in learning and singing the entire Quran from back to front. And if you download like a Quran app, which a couple of years ago I tried to get like into Islam, like I just tried to get like more familiarity with the Quran. I wasn't like trying to convert or anything, but I was just really into like Islamic art and aesthetics at the time. Yeah. So I downloaded the Quran app and I would just like listen to recitations because it was cool. And I was like, wow, they really have the Christians beat in this regard. Because like, imagine if like we made Ariana Grande be like, in the beginning.
Yeah.
Like that would be sick. And she had to like learn the whole Bible from beginning to end. Because at the end I was like, that's not realistic. But I was like, I actually think these Quran reciters do that. I don't know if they have it memorized. I would assume they do. But even if they don't have it physically memorized, they're singing it like back to front. Like they have to have such a command over the words that they sing it like powerfully. You know what I mean? Like you have to really know the material to be able to do that.
Yeah.
I think the Quran might be shorter than the Bible, but even so, that's like a very impressive feat.
Yeah.
So
you wish Denzel had sung it.
I wish he'd sung it. That's what I'm
Probably
trying to say.
been easier to remember.
Exactly. A little bit of a mnemonic device here.
Sang it to the tune of like the KFC fucking theme song that they were singing earlier.
Okay. So this leads me to my next question. Last question, perhaps.
Yeah.
We're doing good on time here. In the Book of Eli universe, you make it to Alcatraz, and with your dying breath, you recite a piece of information that they will chronicle forever. What is that information? For me, it is the album East by Joanna Newsom. Oh, and this song Waikiki by Sabe.
I sing it in Joanna Newsom's voice.
I do. Yeah. Actually, the Sabe one would be funny because I roll up to I get in Alcatraz and I'm like bleeding out on the floor and they're like, okay, I got the pen and paper and I'm like, my diamonds on Waikiki, that Fiji. That would be funny to me.
I guess, one time in my sleep, I was told that I just uttered the words, I need to find Curly Joe.
Like you really have the Stooges on the brain.
And this was before I was into the three. I didn't even know who. I just said, like, I need to find Curly Joe.
Holy shit.
And I didn't know
it was
destined. Just a name.
You were destined.
And then I found out that he was a stooge. And now, literally right now, I'm wearing a shirt with his name on it.
Yes, you are.
So I think it would be fun to say something like that because then people would be like, what the
you get to Alcatraz and you're like, look at the grouse.
Yeah.
And they write it down and then they put it on, on the shelf.
A wise guy.
Yeah, you deliver classic Lost Three Stooges jokes to the world.
Yes.
Well, also, I mean, this end of the Book of Eli, of course, it's a bit similar to Fahrenheit 451, where at the end of that book, the protagonist meets, that's, where all the books are banned.
Yeah.
And the protagonist meets the collective of people who they are like living books. That's their thing. It's like they've like memorized certain books from beginning to end so that people can like read and experience the books.
Yeah.
So, the end of the book is basically like a testament to people who dedicate their lives like to archiving and preserving information. And that's sort of, I would imagine Book of Eli was very inspired by Fahrenheit 451, even though it's not really about books being banned. It's just like books were lost.
Yeah.
But it was very stupid.
Yeah, it was. It was kind of disappointing.
Yeah, I had fun watching it. Don't get me wrong. Actually, I worked really hard in the gym, and then I watched this movie, and I was literally like, my phone kept falling out of my hand because I was like, sort of like
weak.
Literally, I was like taking notes and watching it, and I'd be like, "Ugh," you know. But I paid attention. I knew what was going on.
Yeah, it was just it's also just such a bleak movie.
Yeah, I mean, it's like desaturated, literally.
It's like almost completely black and white.
Yeah.
It's like it would have been better if it was, because just that little bit of color, I was just like, why?
I know.
And
it like made me sleepy. I mean, I was already sleepy, but
yeah,
just like a tinge of brown coming through the black and white. It just like made me feel like my eyes were slowly phasing out.
And it just made me think like, you're just like so unconfident in like how your movie looks that you had to like do something stylized afterwards.
Yeah.
And you could really feel it. I don't know. It was just like a really not fun movie. It wasn't like funny at any time, really. It wasn't like the action was like kind of fun sometimes, but it was just so sparse that it was like, eh. And just like, you know, I know it's the end of the world, but it was just kind of like depressing. I don't know. I was just like thinking like, you know, this is a movie for people who buy Cybertrucks, because this is like, they would think that this is smart and cool, and it's like the world that they want to be like driving their fucking
absolutely, basically like the
truck around
the desert, and occasionally you see a brand that you recognize. Like there's the KFC or like the Busch beer truck.
Yes.
By the way, the movie was filmed in New Mexico.
Okay. Probably will not go there. This was definitely not approved by the New Mexico Tourist Board.
Sure. Yeah, they didn't have to do any set dressing. I do really like, speaking of set dressing on Bro Intellectual Films, I do really enjoy our friend Kyle's story he told me ages ago of when they were filming. I want to say it's The Dark Knight. It could be a different Batman movie. Excuse me if I'm wrong. But it was filmed partially in Pittsburgh. And Kyle lived there at the time. And he said that there was one street near where he lived or worked where the film crew came and they cleaned all the trash off of the street, like made this like really shitty Pittsburgh street look completely clean. Yeah. And then they put down all fake trash to make it look like a shitty street again. Isn't that insane?
Filmmaking is beautiful.
It really is. It's like, it's so accepted that this is like a thing that we spend money on and that people like. And it's like one of the stupidest, most futile like things.
Yeah. You know, every person was like, I can't believe we have to every person who did it was probably just laughing about it. But no one was like, let's not do this.
Yeah, let's just
leave
film
the
on the
trash
street
where it is.
Honestly, knowing like film production people, I bet they took it like dead seriously.
Yeah, I mean, like, I feel like if you're doing a thing and the Batmobile's like flying down the street or whatever, and like you fucking didn't clean up like a tin can lid and it flies up and scratches somebody's arm,
yeah, you get hit in the
sue you for like fucking everything you got. Rightfully so, mind you.
Right. Well, sure. Yeah, you get hit in the eye with a needle with a note pinned to it that says "Welcome to the world of Batman."
That's what happened to the Joker.
Oh my God. That's so sad.
Like that.
That's why he's like that. Welcome to the world of jokes.
That guy scares the hell out of me, man.
I don't want to think about it.
Yeah.
And can you believe these sick IMDb people? That's their
third favorite movie.
Favorite movie of all time.
Fucking
how do these people get to sleep at night? Well, should we rate?
Yeah.
This movie. What is the official Boys Bible Study rating? Ash and Julian minus Scott's rating of Book of Eli. We'll have to get Scott's rating when he's back because I'm sure he's seen this movie.
Yeah, we got to get Scott to wrangle us back in because
I know
we're We need help.
I think so.
I'm going to give this fine film. Shit, man. I don't even remember. They didn't have much in this movie.
No,
I guess
literally
they
don't. It was a sparse movie.
Yeah. 4 out of 4, like little KFC moist towelettes.
Ooh.
It's empty. I already checked.
I should have figured you did.
Yeah. Because that's literally the only thing I can remember from this movie.
For radio, I picked up an empty nitrous canister that was on the floor of my apartment and checked to see if the previous night or 2 nights ago, Julian and I hadn't already punctured the canister, thus siphoning the sweet, sweet gas from within it.
If you want to fucking rule the wasteland,
oh my God, nitrous
start stocking up on that.
Absolutely. Sure enough, it was.
I also have I've been having a weird ache in my calf today, and I'm like irrationally afraid I have a blood clot that's going to go to my lung or brain.
I don't think it's a blood clot.
I really hope not.
There's like a million other reasons why you have pain in your body.
Probably not.
It could be from sitting, sleeping.
Those are 2 things you can get blood clots from. You can't do anything anymore without getting fucking canceled by your own body.
By your own body. Well, I will say, speaking of canceling, that I rate the Book of Eli a movie that had all the notes of a blockbuster, but completely underwhelmed me.
Technically a blockbuster. It earned like twice as much.
Sure.
As it cost to make.
Totally. I just mean, it hit all the beats of a delightful cinematic experience, and it completely underwhelmed me. I'm going to have to give it 2 out of 2 twin directors.
And twins.
I have no doubt that the Hughes Brothers are talented directors. After all, they've made some amazing films that I have not seen.
Yeah.
But
I like them. Hey, I like Dead Presidents more than probably 18 out of 20 of the top 20 IMDb.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying?
So I am willing to give them another chance. But thus concludes our review of the Book of Eli. Stay tuned. I'm just going to spoil this. When Mother's Day happens in May, I'm pretty sure it's in May, right?
Yeah.
Yes. When Mother's Day happens, we are going to do a Mother's Day 2025 special. Yeah, it's in about a month, where we review the Book of Henry. A much superior The Book of movie.
Yeah, this has been a long time coming.
It's been a long time coming. In fact, we've referenced, I wish if we had like a really obsessive archivist who could give me this number, I wouldn't be surprised if we referenced the Book of Henry on like 15 episodes, like separately. I feel like I'm always citing it as an example of outsider cinema.
Yeah.
Stay tuned for that review. But we hope you enjoyed listening to our review of the Book of Eli. Even if you didn't agree with us, teach the controversy, please. We would like to thank everyone who supports us on Patreon. If you don't, but you like our show and you want more content, new episodes every single week, please go to patreon.com/boysbiblestudy and enter discount code The Book of Eli. Just kidding. Hey, I gotta say, Eli would have loved our podcast. It has no video component.
Yeah.
Special thanks to our patron saints who pledged to us at the $20 tier. Nicole, Marissa, Jeffrette, and Mark. Thank you for your generous support. Also, our outro music is the song Oh My God by Mary. So from all of us here at Boys Bible Study, myself, Ash, my co-hosts, Scott and Julian, we would like to say peace be with you.
And also with you. Twins.
we'll be mailing all of our Patreon subscribers the Braille version of this podcast.
Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned. I feel your love in me, it's coming from within. Oh my God, my devotion is so unwavering. Divine emotions when you enter me.